Coming up on Our World, remembering the life of Emmy-winning actor Leslie Jordan. We'll take a look at tributes pouring into social media from all over the world. Welcome to Our World. I'm Stephen Walker. Tributes are pouring in following the sudden death of comedian and actor Leslie Jordan. He died Monday in a single car crash in the Hollywood area. He was 67 years old. Actress Kim Fields writing in part, "I can barely see through my tears to write this. I love my dear friend so much. Profound heartbreak and devastation has taken over all of me." In a tweet from RuPaul's Drag Race, "Thank you for the countless laughs and sharing your spirit with us all." Film producer Will Packer writes, "Just a truly kind, caring, beautiful human." Eric Gonzalez, assistant professor of American Studies at Cal State Fullerton, sharing, "One of the saddest things about losing Leslie Jordan is realizing how few gay men of his generation survived the AIDS crisis. All that talent, fabulousness, and culture we'll never get to see." Jordan most recently rose to fame during COVID-19 pandemic. During the lockdown, his social media posts racked up millions of views as he shared his natural ability to poke fun at himself. In April 2020, our very own Tracy Gilchrist spoke with Jordan. Here's a clip of their light-hearted and sometimes hilarious conversation.
Your videos are really, they're helping people at a time that's really difficult. And I just wonder what that means to you to be able to provide some levity for you're really making my day. You're making me laugh. And I wonder what that means to you as an artist to be able to do that for people.
It means, I'll tell you what it means a lot to me. I am a gay man of a certain age, so I'm 64, who buried an entire phone directory in the 80s.
Yeah.
In the AIDS crisis. So
yeah.
I keep noticing these sort of parallels because I remember, like, we were having so much problem back in the 80s getting anybody to pay attention to us. I remember Legionnaire's disease hit, and there were, like, I think 29 people died, straight people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the government was galvanized. I mean, everybody was, oh my God. And we're like over there, hello, we're
right.
dropping like flies here. But I'll tell you what happened, and I was thinking about this the other day. We figured out as a community of gay people, we have to take care of our own. Mm-hmm. And so I was there, you know, when APLA was started in somebody's living room. You know, Project Angel Food was started at the church at Fairfax and Fountain. I was around for all that. And so what we came out of that with as a community was that I realized we were kinder to each other. Mm-hmm. You know, we knew we had to take, and all of a sudden now I'm hoping that the whole world, you know, having gone through something like this, is going to come out of all of this kinder.
Yeah.
You know, mm-hmm. We're going to come out of this more like, it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, black, white, red, yellow. You know, we went through this mm-hmm. as a community together, and I that's what I think, you know, is going to happen.
You've been out your entire career, right? You started your career as an out man or not?
Well, it's so funny. I sort of fell out of the womb and landed, you know, in my mother's high heels. I do not remember. I remember trying to tell a few people in high school, and this would have been like 68 or so, and they're like, duh. You know? I'm gay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What else? But when I got to Hollywood, I can remember it's so funny. You would go out to the gay bars and you'd see every producer in town. You know, you'd see casting people. But during the day,
yeah,
it was very wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
And I had gay agents during the whole early, you know, in the 80s, early in my career. And they would call me and say, now listen, keep your feet on the ground for this one. Keep your hands at your side, put your voice in the lower register. Like they would try to, but what do I do? I mean, but I do remember I had a mustache like Ron Jeremy. and I wore these cowboy boots. Like, who am I fooling? You know, but there was a difference in the way you behaved, you know, as a gay man, even during the day. It was very wink, wink.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that says, and we just got past that, and I don't know when it happened or I think, I'm going to tell you, I think Will and Grace, the TV series that I was a part of,
Yep.
was a big turning point.
That
Because I remember when I first started on Will and Grace, perfectly straight men would approach me and go, "What you on TV?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm on Will and Grace." They go, "My wife watches that," or "My girlfriend watches that." Almost like I don't. But and then within like all these years later of being on the show, 4 years or so, because I didn't even come around till third season.
right.
But by the end of the thing, construction workers on the street were hollering, "Love you on Will and Grace." I thought,
Love that.
something's changed here.
Yeah.
And I don't know where. I think for the first time, gay people were allowed with Will and Grace into our living rooms. All over America, people loved and they laughed, and progress was made. And I was a part of that too. To have been part of that. I'm so proud.
Jordan became a household name for his comedic roles in projects like Will and Grace, Hearts of Fire, American Horror Story, just to name a few. The Tennessee native was intent on helping to increase LGBTQ+ visibility in his native South. His charm on social media made him famous, and he was even featured on the cover of The Advocate magazine. I spoke with our senior national reporter, Christopher Wiggins, about how people have been remembering Leslie Jordan. I'd like to welcome Christopher Wiggins, senior national reporter for Advocate.com. Thank you for joining me today. So, Leslie Jordan's death came as a tragic shock to so many people. How have people been reacting to the bad news?
Well, as you said, it was really a tragic shock, and so many people have been touched by his sudden death. I know that, just looking at social media, there's been such an outpouring of support and just, a reaction that has been one of significant and just universal sadness.
And let's face it, our Leslie was no spring chicken, but he was popular across the board. What do you think made him so likable, even lovable to such a diverse group of people?
The one thing that I will say is that he seems to have been one of the most approachable people in Hollywood. He didn't take himself too seriously. He was always one to take a picture with someone. In fact, just looking at my own Facebook timeline, almost everyone I know has a picture with Leslie Jordan. So, he became really popular over the course of the pandemic and on social media, and more recently was up to some other new things. So, really his career has spanned a lot of generations.
And he was a P-Town, regular. He would come, I'd always wave, he'd always wave back. He was so sweet, so charming. I'm going to miss him. In addition to his recent Instagram fame, what else was Leslie up to?
Well, so he was currently on a Fox show called Call Me Kat with Mayim Bialik and Cheyenne Jackson. And that show actually is in its third season. And they actually released some information recently saying that they were going to put production on pause in order to mourn Leslie's death.
Yeah, I know. It's one of Hollywood's best, I believe. Thank you, Christopher Wiggins, senior national reporter for theadvocate.com, for joining me. Talk again soon.
Thank you.
Leslie Jordan stood tall at 4'11". He first arrived in Los Angeles in 1982 with a dream and $1,200. He got his first break in a 1989 episode of Murphy Brown. In 2005, he won an Outstanding Guest Actor Emmy for his part as Beverly Leslie in Will and Grace. Leslie Jordan will be remembered. He was 67 years old.